A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Heaven Masters being played at the Heaven Resort right here in Gyeonggi-do. My name is Glenn Mascarenas and we are into round 3 or the finale. This of course is the final round. It's a par 72 that we were looking at, 5,957 meters to cover. The final round of course will bring or spring a few surprises and we will find out about that as we get through it. A couple of changes that have taken place today in the final round and where number 2 has, upset number 1 in terms of the leaderboard. So Lee Dae-yeon is down to second while Yoo Hyun-jo has capped off the top spot just ahead by a single underscore. So let's get down to business right here as we start off with the final round. I did say this, it was going to be, pretty much an electrifying finish. And I think that's what we are expecting, a highly competitive one. So first up, we go down to where Lee Dae-yeon and her, compatriots will be contesting things to begin with. And it's Kim Na-young who will tee off for hole number 8. She's 11 under currently in third position. Remember, she was the big mover on day 1. That is fantastic placement. Well, absolutely fantastic placement. So Kim Na-young also, really pushing, the boundaries of excellence in this very event. And the star of round 2 will also take center stage. So Lee Dae-yeon is currently in second position with a 12 under score. She's had a birdie in round 1 and round 2 on this hole. Well, I wouldn't say that's the fanciest placement from her. I think just a little bit too much of effort in there. Remember, the nerves will get to you today, and there's no doubt about it. As we can see the layout and as our golfers will make their way through to the next destination, it's also a very, very important part for us to remember that, day 3 will spring its own surprises. Han Aryum still carrying that 7 under. She's on to hole number 10, aims for birdie, and that's going to be 8 under for her. Absolutely spot on the money here. At 1 bogey, and that's the second birdie of the day. Starts off the back 9 in a positive manner. Han Ji-won knocks that straight just outside the green. Ryo Seung-hui on to her second stroke for hole number 10. That's set up pretty well. Nicely placed by her. She's been in very, very good form actually, and currently sits with 11 under, tied with Kim Na-young in third. Yes, Lee Dong-gyun, who's also, as I said, she's always going to be there on the final day. She's up with 10 under, aims for birdie on hole number 9. Such a strong golfer to watch. Well, a birdie might be out of the question, but she certainly got herself spot on the money there. Beautifully placed. Very interesting golfer, Lee Dong-gyun. She always has this very serious disposition, but she comes, she plays, she sticks to the job, does really well. Yoo Hyun-jo now. She's the golfer in focus, isn't she, along with Lee Dae-yeon. And that's just skipped past the destination, so she's going to have to, aim to finish with, an on par here. It's an interesting battle when you look at it, because you've got, Lee Dae-yeon there, you've got Yoo Hyun-jo, and you've got Kim Na-young. And what's interesting is to see how each of them well, actually performs. Now, Lee Dayon did stretch herself to quite a distance from the flagstick, so to earn a birdie, that's going to be, well, quite an effort. .4 meters to cover. Well, I'll be. She almost pushed that in, didn't she? Well, we'll settle for an even score here, but that was an absolutely a wonderful putt from her to begin with. Just a few inches would have done the trick. Han Ji-won was also on a 10 under here on hole number 9. Well, that's the second time, isn't it? Just after Lee Dayon missed hers, and well, it suddenly looked like Han Ji-won would have found her way through. Very well crafted effort from her. I think she will tap that in for a finish, and I think that's the easiest thing to do. Just clean it up, take an even score for this hole, and say, you know, I'm alright with it. So she's tied 5th there, has had 2 bogeys and 2 birdies. Without the bogeys, well, she probably would have been in tied 2nd. Oh, beautiful, sand, well, hazards around that actually look like cascading, well, slopes on a desert. Quite interesting. Kim Na-young, well, she had it closest to the hole. She'll aim for birdie on hole number 8. And that's just skimmed over. Don't think she was expecting that. Yu Hyun-jo looking to finish on par. And that's nicely done. Choi Yi-bun will aim for birdie on hole number 10. She's sporting an 8 under. And that's well done by her. She moves up to 9 under here. Choi Yi-bun doing well. So all the golfers getting their putts right today, and I think that is a fantastic well, effort from her.
Nice.
Lee Dong-gyun. Well, that's consecutive birdies on hole number 6 and 7. She's moved up to 10 under. And she's got a smile on her face. I do love the way that she plays. She brings a different kind of temperament, to the course, and I do like that. Roh Seung-hui herself also has an entirely different personality and character that she brings to every single tournament. Aims for birdie on hole 10. Oh. That is a painful miss. I'm not gonna deny that. That is a painful miss. So Lee Dayon will tee off for hole number 9. Well, she'll stay on that 12 under after she finished with an even score. Had a bogey on day 1, but on day 2 she fared a lot better. A bit loose-ended with that drive, and that she's hit the rough, but I do believe Well, yesterday she was very, very focused, very, very zoned in on a game and on how she was going to basically carry out her plan. Today, I think there's just a bit of pressure on her shoulders because she knows that she's right out there in the top contenders. Yu Hyun Jo will tee off next, the current leader of the pack. And a lot better as she stays disciplined on the fairways as compared to her compatriot. Having said that, has been a bit of a battle between the two of them since yesterday, and Kim Na-young, who actually finished at the top of the leaderboard in round one, yesterday just did enough to keep her head above the waters and close to the front runners. And here she is, well, in third position. She tees off for hole number 9. Not the best drive from Kim Na-young for this one. Park Ji-young up next. That would have been outstanding. And she does do that, doesn't she? She knows it herself. Comes up with those amazing putts every now and then. There's amazing drives and there's amazing approach shots. She's
골프를 사랑해 주신 여러분 안녕하세요. 더 해븐 리조트 관리장 권모세입니다. 세계 최고의 우리 선수들이 마음껏 실력을 발휘할 수 있는 훌륭한 대회가 될 수 있도록 코스 관리에 정성을 다하였습니다. 더 해븐 CC가 위치한 안산시 대부도는 해송에서 뿜어져 나오는 피톤치드와 갯벌에서 생성되는 갯벌 오존은 우리들 몸과 마음을 정화시켜 줍니다. 더 해븐 리조트의 골프, 레지던스, 호텔이 세계적인 명소와 성지로 안착되어 가고 있습니다. 아름답고 풍성한 볼거리, 먹거리, 놀거리들을 자랑합니다. 대회 기간 오셔서 국위선양하는 우리 프로 선수들의 명품샷도 보시고 푸짐한 경품도 받으시고 대부도에서 갯벌 체험 등 모든 분들이 함께 힐링하시고 즐기시는 행복하고 축복받는 날이 되시기를 기원드립니다.
Sonia Bean will tee off for hole number 1. She's got a 1 on the score currently. So Kim Na-young will aim to get out of the rough here. just getting a word there from her caddy as well. And I do believe that, well, he would have a point to make. And I do believe he would have been, well, just trying to guide her into the right direction. Well, Kim Na-young would know what to do, no doubt about it, but 116 meters, well, your caddy is always that rubber board that you can, bounce off ideas and, well, intentions of what you need to do next. And I think she's done well to get herself back, on track and onto the carpet area. She's done fairly well. Now it's Lee Ji-yoon, who's still around. Don't forget, she had birdies on hole 10 in round 1 and 2. As she tees off here, 321 meters to cover. It's a par 4 for the asking. Fairly mighty knock from her. Lee Dae-yeon onto her second stroke for hole 9. She's found her path onto the rough there. Lee Dong-gyun will tee off for hole number 10. Lee Dong-gyun, never write her off. She comes in good nick into this event after she won the DFB Group Open Championship, and that was just last week. Yoo Hyun-jo, second stroke, and that's what she's been doing today. She's been able to get the ball right onto the carpet area very well. Her approach shots have been very well thought of and executed, and I think that's where it really plays such a huge part in the way that she has been able to stay just ahead of the pack. Lim Hee-jong, she's on to her fourth stroke for hole 11. Oh, wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and she so needs that. 11 under for her. She's tied third now. Struggled through yesterday, but Lim Hee-jong, absolutely phenomenal in her performance, and I do love that tree very much in the background. Yoo Hyun-jo still up there at number 1 with 13 under, Lee Dae-yeon in second with 12 under, and then you've got that trio of Lim Hee-jong, Roh Seung-wi and Kim Na-young with 11 under in tied third. Kim Min-byul, Lee Ji-yoon and Han Ji-won all in tied sixth with 10 under. Then there's Choi Yi-bun with 9 under in 10, and Park Hyun-kyung and Han Aryum are tied 11th. Park Hyun-kyung also not doing too badly, but keeping in mind the fact that time is of the essence, well, she'll have to work a lot harder than she currently is. Stay with us, don't go anywhere, as the Heaven Masters 2025 continues right here at the Heaven Resort. Lee De-Jong goes next as she tries to get off the rough. That would have been an amazing finish. An absolutely amazing finish. Just about missing it by a tad bit. Lim Hee-jung is next. She tees off for hole number 12. Well done there by Lim Hee-jung. Meanwhile, Kim Na-young aims for birdie on hole 9. And, well, she'll have to just tap that in. Birdie might be out of the question, but an even score definitely will be. It's Lee Ji-yoon at the other end. Second stroke on hole number 10. Yoo Hyun-jo aiming for birdie on hole number 9. Still holding that 13 under. Oh, that's just slipped out, and she knows it. That would have been such an amazing touch there. Oh, a bit unfortunate for her. That could have been 14 under. Lee De-jong as well. Well, having to finish with on-par finishes, as long as they keep an even score, they won't be too concerned about it. Lim Hee-jung too, well, doing her own bit here on the course. Here's Lee Ji-yoon aiming for birdie on hole 10. And she's missed out on a whole lot of them since yesterday. If not, she would have probably been right there at the top. Remember, she was in the top 3 yesterday too. Over now to Rosing Wee. Fourth effort on hole 11, and she's just missed the target. Back to Young. William for birdie on hole 12. She's at 2 under. That's fairly well played by her. So consecutive birdies there. She had, well, she's had 4 bogeys and a buzzard. Couldn't get harder than that. Celine Dion walking towards her next mission.
카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요.
Yu Hyun Jo will tee off for hole number 10. She's had birdies in round 1 and 2. It's well played by her.
거의 안 빨았어. 벙커 터치 끝보다 약간 더 봐도 돼. 살짝. 백스윙 빠르지 않게 적당하게.
Kim Na-young will tee off for hole number 10. Lee Daeon will tee off for hole number 10. That's straight off onto the course. Roh Seung-hui will tee off for hole 12. that's played well by her. So just talking about the waterfront, as you can see, you know, the little swampy or sandy area, and then the waters. Yu Hyun Jo still dominates with 13 under at the top spot, with Lee Dae-yeon in second with 12 under, and you've got a trio there with 11 under in tied third, where Kim Na-young now sits. She was, of course, ahead of the pack earlier, but interesting how this event is panning out, because I don't think there's any one winner or one golfer that you can put your finger on or under the magnifying glass and say, well, that's the one, you know, that will cap off the event today, or that will be queen of the course. I don't think so, because you're looking at about 5 or 6 golfers who are still very much in there. I'm not speculating, and normally whenever I speculate, it always turns out to be wrong, but I do believe that that's golf. But I do believe that this one looks like it might be in for a very tight finish. It could go into a playoff the way it's currently shaping up, because I do believe the intensity that's being brought to this event by you know, the top 8 or 9 golfers on the leaderboard is quite phenomenal. They're all hungry for a win, and I think they've got a sniff of victory. They do know that they've got a chance to you know, cap the title. But let's find out how we get through the day, so that it's these golfers, Lim Hee-jung, Roh Seung-hui, and Kim Na-young, who are tied third with that 11 under, you know, who pose the biggest threat to Yu Hyun Jo and Lee Dae-yeon, because you're just looking at them being 2 spots off the top. And then you also got Lee Ji-yoon and Lee Dong-gyun in there. Don't write off Lee Dong-gyun in tied 6th. She could just step up her game as well. And then you've got the remaining tied 8s with Choi Yi-bon, Kim Min-byul, you know, Han Ji-won, still very strong golfers. So you're looking at 9 under all the way to 13 under. Most of these golfers have only gone through, you know, round 10 or round 11 at the max. So there's a lot to play for. There's still a lot to play for. Kim Na-young onto a second stroke for hole 10. Lim Hee-jung, second stroke for hole number 13. Oh, that didn't work out too well. And I think that's flown the green in a rather bad manner. And sometimes it's just going to take, well, one or two of those efforts to really land you into a hot spot. And you could drop down the order. But here's Lee Daeon. She goes next. And she's got to craft out a shot well. I forgot that I did not give you a weather report. And that's so important in this very event. And Lee Daeon doing fairly well. But she'll sit on the border of the green. And I did want to, run you through the weather just for a simple reason. So Yoo Hyun Jo still at the top there with Lee Daeon and Lim Hee Jong, following suit. And then you've got Roh Seung-hui, Kim Na-young in tie third as well. But let's tell you what the current conditions are. So we're looking at about 22 degrees Celsius, the temperature. It's hovered at around 21, 22 to be precise. So Yoo Hyun Jo now going with the provisional ball. And that's for hole number 10. This could very well be her undoing. She's also got herself well onto the green, and that's going to roll away towards the border just to say hello to where Lee Dae-yong sits. And it's on to the rough. It's a tough call here now. So I don't think Yoo Hyun Jo would want to drop out of favor. So wind speeds were at about 5.9 to 6 miles earlier. Now it's dropped to about 5. Lee Dong-gyun will go next. The third stroke for hole 11. 144 meters to the hole. Yoo Hyun Jo. Although they're having a look around. And that's Roh Seung-hui. She aims for birdie on hole number 12. That's well done by Roh Seung-hui. There's Kim Na-young. Needs to get out of a spot of trouble as well. She's dropped. She dropped one into the deep end. Well, here she goes as she gets it closer to, well, the target. So this is turning out to be a bit of a daunting, hole for the three golfers here. Meanwhile, Lim Hee Jong will need to work for a birdie on hole 13. It's quite a distance for her to cover. That's a quick tap in from Yoo Hyun Jo as she finishes with a buzzard, and she's dropped to 11 under. And that is a fine finish from Park Ji-young. She's had a certainly a mixed bag today. Lee Dae-yeon goes next. Well, that's just gone past the target. So Lee Dong-gyun will have to settle for an even score, and I don't think she's going to be too concerned about it. She would have liked to have finished, of course, with a on a positive, which should be a negative point. But Kim Na-young looks to finish on par for hole 10. I think Yoo Hyun Jo's stroke penalty really getting her that double, or getting her the buzzard, and I think that that's really what did affect her standings. And now Lee Dae-yeon is back out there on top with Roh Seung-hui, Yoo Hyun Jo, Lim Hee-jong, Lee Ji-yeon, with Roh Seung-hui and Yoo Hyun Jo stuck in second position with 11 under, and that slipped out. How does that happen from a short distance? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Don't think Lim Hee-jong is going to be too concerned about that. But so just to look back, what's really got my attention, of course, is that quartet that sits in tied fourth. Lim Hee-jong, Lim Ji-yoon, and Lee Dong-gyun with Kim Na-young. Lee Dong-gyun looking to finish on par for hole number 11.
Nice.
And that's exactly what she does, so she'll maintain a position for the time being. Kim Na-young aims for bogey on hole number 10, and that's well played by her. Lee Dae-yeon looks to finish on par here. She has to keep her position intact, and yes, she does. So she'll stay at number 1 for the time being. Lee Dong-gyun will tee off. She won the right to do that. Well, still at a fair bit of a distance, and I do believe that it's so important, but the wind speeds, of course, can carry the ball away, and she knows that. She was aiming for it to be a lot closer to the tin cup, but that's just curved a tad bit and carried through. Now you're teeing off for hole 11. It's Yoo Hyun Jo. She's got to win back, well, her lost glory. Dropping 2 points in the final round is kind of really awful, isn't it? So hole 11 once again, and this is exactly what I was trying to say. This was happening to Lee Dae-yeon earlier in the day, where she was just a bit loose-ended with those drives and not really in control of them. And I think Yoo Hyun Jo now going through very much that same, and she knows it. She's just got to, well, get her rhythm back, or calm down probably, because I do believe when you're right up there, contesting, and you're one of the 2 or 3 favorites to win the tournament, there's always going to be a bit of pressure and a bit of nerves. Lee Dae-yeon will tee off next. And that's well struck by her.
만들어내면 돼.
Here goes Kim Na-young,
하지 마세요.
and it looks like she's knocked it out of well, almost seems like it's out of bounds. We will have to get a check on that. And I think it's the wind that is really troubling the golfers right now, as you can see. Well, started off the day so well, and if you look at if you pretty much look at the way that the leaves are moving, the trees have been rustling, those leaves have been rustling like big time. That tells us a bit. Yoo Hyun Jo going with the provisional ball. Well, she did lose hers. So we're trying to find it, I do remember. And to be fair to her, she's got hers back on track. But a stroke penalty at this point of time, not really advisable. Kim Na-young also going in with the provisional ball here. Just puts a dent in your progress. Ro Seung-hui up next. Do keep in mind the fact that when the golfers do tee off a second time, and if you're just new to the sport, there's always going to be no stroke penalty, but it is counted as one stroke. So, well, if it's out of bounds or it's in the woods, that's a different story, and you can't find it. Lee Dong-gyun. Deja vu all over again, as well, Yoo Hyun Jo locates where the ball is. So tough moments here. Lady onto a second stroke. She needs to get out of a spot as well.
지금 안 되는데.
죽은 거 같은데.
지금 안 되는데. 아니, 아까 볼 확인이 안 돼.
그래서 아저씨가 수가 빨간 모자 쓰고.
지금 안 되는데 확인 안 했어.
Kim Na-young, the search for the ball is on.
그 방향 끝선이 77.
17? 그냥 여기까지 나와도
여기 줄.
넘어갔어.
너무.
And Yu Hyun Jo just getting the location right.
30선 방향 봤어?
저기 나무 두 개.
어딘지 몰라. 그 아무튼 그 방향으로.
위치를
네.
다시 리플레이스 해야 되거든요.
네, 아니 그때 여기 이렇게 되어 있어서
위치를
Kim
추정할 수
Na-young
있겠어요.
having a chat there with the official. Meanwhile, it's a very, very important moment for the top three golfers. And I think that Lee Daeon has just about managed to, well, touch wood, just about managed to skip past, any blemish so far.
내리막이에요, 거기 맞으면?
근데 그런 거 신경 쓰지 말면 이렇게.
맞나요?
예예
예, 맞아요.
예, 예.
나무 덮여진 상태 이런
예,
것도
아니에요.
지금
예.
상태 맞나요?
예예
네, 그러면 이 상태로 플레이하시면 돼요.
That's where Kim Na-young was having a chat with the official.
죄송해요.
Oh, she's definitely a bit disappointed. I mean, I would be too. You know, you're going great guns, and then and that's what happens. And that's why I said, do not discount the other golfers who are there. You know, like Lee Dong-gyun and the rest. You never know; it could be anyone's day,
못 쳐요.
and that's what makes the difference as compared to anything else.
칠 수 있어요.
It's always going to be well, pretty much like that. Yu Hyun Jo. Fourth stroke for hole number 11. Lim Hee Jong, second stroke for hole number 14. Ryo Seung-hui, third stroke on hole number 13. So just a quick look at the leaderboard will tell us a little bit as of how things stand currently. Lee Dae-yeon still up there with 12 under in first position. Ryo Seung-hui and Yoo Hyun Jo are tied second with 11 under, and then you've got that tied fourth, which is a quartet of Lim Hee Jong, Lim Ji-yeon, Lee Dong-gyun and Kim Na-young. And they have 10 under. And that's got to be the strangest, isn't it? Straight off the rough and actually onto the carpet towards the destination. Well done there by Lee Dae-yeon.
볼!
아빠랑 아니죠?
아빠랑 아니야. 슬라이스 바람. 이 물 보이지 날리는 거. 슬라이스 바람이야.
It's Kim Na-young up next. Third stroke on hole number 11. And she's done fairly well, I think, to get herself well out of the woods a while back. Will need to rework her path back onto the path. Here's Lim Hee Jong as she aims for birdie on hole number 14. Lim Hee Jong with 11 under. She's done well to nail a birdie there, and she's happy about it. Oh, she's got a smile on her face. Lee Ji-yoon up next. Oh, beautiful placement by her. Absolutely beautiful placement. Lee Dong-gyun will go next on hole number 13. Lee Dong-gyun not looking her usual self, or just looking a tad bit troubled. Yoo Hyun-jo looking to regain lost glory, and she almost did here. Just narrowly missing out. Well, the crowds have come in today, so expect a fairly big contingent to be walking around. The exodus, as I always call it, from hole to hole. Yoo Hyun-jo will finish with an on par, and I think she'll be happy about that. At least, well, she maintains her current score on the leaderboard.
네, 먼저 할게요.
That's beautiful, isn't it, in the pool? Well, all those who aren't walking around the golf course can actually sit and get a view of the course. How beautiful is that? Here's Lee Dae-yeon. Well, I'd much rather be in the crowds, or right here where I am. I do have the best view. Have to boast about that thanks to our production crew and cameramen, sorry. Lee Dae-yeon aims for birdie on hole 11. Chance here for her to stretch her lead even further. Oh, that's wonderfully done. So she's up to 13 under. Lee Dae-yeon now just reclaiming the fact that she might be the golfer to win this. Started with the bogey. She's pretty much undone that. Restored the scoreline that she had yesterday. The score that she had yesterday. And I think that that's a good bit for her. Lee Mi-jung will now tee off for hole number 15. This, of course, is a hole-in-one event. The Mercedes E-Class. Well, the HS, well, there it is. The sponsors behind the hole-in-one here. Always fantastic when you think about it that way, to have a big sponsor in there. And the hole-in-one, always a bit of a charm. It's always a joy. I mean, I've never had one in my entire life, playing a round of golf. But I've had friends, and those friends, of course, are women who have had, a hole-in-one on more than one occasion. So, gotta hand it to them. So Kim Na-young on to stroke number 4 for hole 11. She's gone through the motions with this hole as well, remember, and I think that's just a bit too much of club on that now. 9 out of 10. That looks like it's going to be a bogey for her. She's stuck with the 10 under and might have to drop points here, so those changes will come about. I do love that pool. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? To have a pool right at the top, on the terrace, and you can see the children as well enjoying themselves sitting there on the ledge. And that's overlooking the course. Absolutely wonderful. But I don't know on a day like today, where it's not really hot out there, whether it's so pleasurable to be in the pool. On a sunny day, oh, I'd absolutely love it. Ryo Seung-wi. Second stroke for hole number 14. Not a bad effort from her at all. Up next, it's going to be Kim Min-byul. Lee Dae-yeon will tee off for hole number 12, and that's after she claimed. Beautiful background there of the Korean airplane. And that's exactly what I was saying. She's going to land up, bogeying that. Yoo Hyun-jo will tee off next. Lee Dong-gyun will aim for birdie on hole number 13. Close enough, but I think an even score is going to be more important for her. So Lee Dong-gyun just needs a tap in, and that's exactly what she does. Lee Ji-yoon up next. She just kept her head above the water, but she still has to work a lot more. But she's tied second right now with 11 under, and a birdie on hole number 13 will serve her well in this contest. So Lee Daeon still leading the way. So Lee Daeon still leading the way, up there with that 13 under, and it's been a very, very good effort from her. It's going to be interesting to see how things really progress from here onwards. I still believe that Yoo Hyun Jo still has got much to do. Lady On finishing with on par just after Ro Seung-hui did her bit. On to Lim Hee-jong next. She looks to finish on par. Ro Seung-hui with an on-par finish. Up next, it's Lee Ji-yoon. Second stroke for hole 14. And that is wonderful placement. Lee Ji-yoon slowly but surely, you know, just making it known that she's still there, very much in the pack and in the running.
잠시 멈춰주세요. 감사합니다.
Lee Daeon getting ready to tee off, and things have started moving quite quickly here as we head down towards what we look at as being the final, bits for round 3. It's hole number 13 already. Bogey and birdie in round 1 and round 2 for Lee Daeon on this, and she'll try to change that. 343 meters to cover. Up next, it's Kim Na-young. Well struck, that's going to travel a little bit of a distance here, and an interesting one. So Kim Na-young, well, just pulling herself together after she had a few dismal moments. Yoo Hyun-jo has also had to, well, really soak it in and come, back to the front. And it's interesting because here she is back again. That struck well. And the golfers will do the trot. Not too often that you see them actually taking the run there. And that's well struck. Very well struck. Perfectly done, if you ask me. So here we go, Lee Dae-yeon right there at the top of the leaderboard, still with 13 under. Lim Hee-jung, Roh Seung-hui and Lee Ji-hoon with 11 under in tied second. And then you've got Lee Dong-gyun along with Yoo Hyun-jo in tied fifth with 10 under. In tied seventh, it's Choi Yi-bon. Kim Min-byul is still very much in there with that 9 under. And the tied seventh will be joined by Kim Na-young, who's also stuck with that 9 under for the time being. Lee Dae-yeon, pretty much the golfer to watch. Lee Daeon will go on next. Still got that 13 under. She's using a 52 wedge here. Lim Jong. It's got to be a second stroke for hole number 16. She's going to go with 7 iron. I think not too well pleased with her effort, but I think she's going to try a little bit harder. Yu Hyun Jo up next will use a 58-degree wedge to travel to her destination. A second stroke. Oh, beautifully placed. Absolutely wonderful approach shot from her. Go Seung-hui will aim for birdie on hole number 15. She's got to nail this. She's up against the wind here. There will be a bit of resistance, and crafting that putt well so matters. And I've got to keep my mouth shut there. Absolutely well played. Very confident putt from her. And she's now, of course, tied second with 12 under. Oh, she always really shows excitement when she gets the shot right, doesn't she? So Lee Ji-yoon also will be aiming for birdie here to get into tied second. Oh, and that slipped out for a tad bit unfortunate. Lee Daeon up next. James birdie on hole number 13. Now that's just gone past the destination for her as well. She'll have to keep it with an even score. Lim Hee-jong. Remember, well, her time is moving on. She does have a decent score, but she's on hole number 16, and I do think a birdie might be out of the question for her here. Lee Ji-yoon will tee off for hole number 15 using a 7 iron. That's well played by her. Yu Hyun Jo up next. Nicely done by her. So Yoo Hyun Jo gets it right. She's still in tied third, but after that buzzer and bogey on hole number 10 and 11, birdie now just relieving things for her. I think that's so needed, in an event like this. Just takes the pressure off, gives you a bit of leverage more than anything else. Lee Dong-gyun. First stroke on... Did I say first stroke? Tees off hole number 15. Lim Hee-jong, what will she come up with by the time she gets to hole number 18? I think is going to be the big question. Park Ji-young almost looked like she was having a conversation there with the bird. Lim Hee-jong will aim for an on par here. Well, it really did look like it, and the bird of course seemed to nod and walk away. Lim Hee-jong. And I think she's going to bogey that and drop down to a 10 under. And Lee Dae-yeon has done extremely well in today's event. It's going to be interesting to see how she gets through right to the end. It's going to be hole number 14 now. Yoo Hyun Jo will tee off. Time has certainly moved on faster than we would have expected. And that's straight onto the fairways. Not a bad effort from her. And she's got a cheer there for the crowd.
플레이하겠습니다.
And it's well struck by Lee Dae-yeon. I do believe what was looking like a three-way battle, and Lee Dae-yeon looking resplendent in that red. Well, she's got a bit of control, or she's got a bit of a hold here, but then she's got Ryo Seung-hui, who's not in her group, mind you, but as an outsider, Ryo Seung-hui has also been performing extremely well. If you just look back at a couple of moments, let's look at Ryo Seung-hui herself. She's such an unassuming golfer. She's just like Wang Yumin. She's another one of those golfers who brings that girl next door kind of vibe. She'll laugh. She'll show it when she's really upset. But she's done very well, and she is the one actually chasing Lee Dae-yeon. Interestingly, she's had 5 underscores today. Lee Dae-yeon has only had 1 underscore, and that kind of nullified the bogey that she had early in the day. Lee Ji-yoon and Yoo Hyun Jo haven't done too much as well, but having said that, it'll be interesting to see how they perform. So, was just kind of looking back, and Ryo Seung-hui, her first event that she won was the DB Group Korea Women's Open Golf Championship on the 16th of June, 2024. And she was so good in that, and then she backed it up on 15 September, winning a second KLPGA event, which was the OK Savings Bank OK Man Ladies Open. So she has been one of those golfers who has done extremely well, in recent times. But having said that, you have to also keep in mind the fact that, well, the last time that Lee Dae-yeon won anything was way back in 2023. So for her, if that hunger to win, it's definitely going to be very, very strong for her in today's event. Neither has won anything, this year. Neither Ryo Seung-hui or, Lee Dae-yeon. But if you look at Lee Dong-gyun, well, she won the DB Group Korea Women's Open Golf Championship on the 15th of June, and this is the same event Ryo Seung-hui won last year. Lee Dong-gyun is still in the running, though, and so is Ryo Seung-hui, because both of them are up there. Lee Dong-gyun, of course, with the 10 under. What's interesting is, of course, to see how Lee Dae-yeon performs. And then let's not discount, Lee Ji-yoon, because she's, well, still in there. She's still performing. She's been able to get those. And unfortunately, Kim Na-young looks to be, well, just battling her own challenges. Had a few dismal, tee-offs, and I think that's what changed everything. Joe onto a second stroke for hole 14. Should aim for birdie on hole number 15 here. Certainly looked like an opportunity for her. One of the very unique things that we are noticing in round 3 is, of course, the swing of most of the golfers, including Lee Dae-yeon, Kim Na-young. The follow-through, not as strong as you see in some of the other events that they've been a part of, where it's almost perfect form. Today it's just been kind of a bit loose-ended, especially on the follow-through, and it's something that we don't normally observe. Ryo Seung-wi needs to get herself out of a bit of a spot here. That's just phenomenal, isn't it? Well, there's nothing that she's done wrong here today. She's absolutely been in such good form, and she's displayed it right through. Almost actually found that one in from a disadvantage, almost turned it into an advantage. And I do believe that, well, win or not in this tournament, she has played an absolutely phenomenal round of golf. She's been the big mover here today. Lin Hee-jung will consult her notes. Lim Hee-jung onto a second stroke for hole number 17. She's pretty much coming towards the end of a day's efforts. Well played there by Lim Hee-jung, absolutely well played. Lee Ji-yoon will tee off for hole 16. It's these last few holes that are going to play such a big part right now for most of the golfers, because do keep in mind the fact that Lee Dae-yeon still has a little bit of an advantage on them with a few more holes to get through. And Lee Ji-yoon doing fairly well. She's also been fairly consistent with the performance. Kim Na-young up next. Lee Dae-yeon will aim for birdie on hole number 14. It's a good bit of a distance to get through. And that's one of the reasons why she just might be the queen bee in this contest. Oh, that is such a phenomenal putt from her. She moves up to 14 under. Well, just coming good at the right time. Started off her day with a bogey, and she's just gone on to perform so well. Look at that. Just a slight bit of a curve on that. And that ball was definitely bound to hit the tin cup. And that cheer from the audience will just say it all. So Lee Dae-yeon is now turning out to be the golfer to beat in this contest. Bogey on the first hole. No birdies in the first 9. But on the back 9, she's had 2 birdies, and that's taken her 1 ahead of where she was yesterday. She's at 14 under. Lovely swing. Good amount of power on that, and a very meticulously planned approach shot there. Park Yun Kyung. Always said she, along with Hwang Yu-min, is one of my favorite golfers. I do love watching them play. They're such skilled, golfers. Have their ups and downs, but when they do have their ups, they're unbeatable on that day. Kim Na-young will look to finish on par here. And I think that, once you hit a downward slide, sometimes it's just difficult to climb back up. And I think Kim Na-young's just going through, that here. Well, she knows that that's going to put a huge dent in her efforts today. Well, she was pretty much challenging, the top runners, but Lee Dae-yeon's kept her, herself right in front of the pack. Yu Hyun-jo needs to finish on par to keep her score intact. Remember, they've still got 4 more holes to play for, so nothing is lost as of now. Oh, that's flipped out at the wrong time. That's going to be a bogey for her, unfortunately. She's still got a cheer from the crowd, and there's fans backing her as well. Well, to keep a smile when you're so close to winning a contest, and then of course you don't, and you start hitting a few obstacles, but to keep a smile and to keep your head straight, always a good thing. Lee Ji-yoon up next. Well, onto the green is never a bad thing.
잠시만요.
Here's Lee Dae-yeon. Goes in with an 8 iron. She's on to hole 15 already. It's been an event for her, for a young golfer who was the rookie of the year in 2016. She's come a long way, and I think you need to pull in those wins every now and then. It's been a long time coming for her. Lim Hae-jong right now on hole 17, of course. Gentle tap-in will do it for her. Park Hyun Kyung will aim for birdie on hole number 18. She's had a moment. She was up to, an 8 under. She's dropped to 7 under. But she could finish here with a birdie and it'll be a happy moment for her. Well played by Park Hyun Kyung. 69 round 1, 69 round 2 and 70 in the final round. Finishes with 8 under. It's been an event from her. Big hugs all around. Quick chat with the caddy, but Park Hyun Kyung is doing fairly well in the event. Well, Bai So Yoon did not have it so good in this event. She was the defending champion getting into it, but it was a bit of a worry for her. Didn't make too many inroads or didn't really strike the path towards the victory run. Teeing off for hole 15 now, Yoo Hyun Jo.
넘어갔어요?
Well played there by her. Ryo Seung-gui will go up next. Second stroke for hole number 17.
Hey, 거리.
And that struck fairly well. So Lee Dae-yeon very much in control of the event currently with 14 under, even though she's had only a 1 under score today. Ryo Seung-gui, who's through hole 16, has got 12 under in the bag, and in the next 2 holes will really tell us a story because she's had 5 birdies today. She's been the big mover, and it might be very interesting to see what she can bring to the table in the final moments of this event. So all said and done, we are still waiting for that to happen. So Lee Dae-yeon, 14 under at the top. Ryo Seung-gui, 12 under in second. Lim Hee-jong and Lee Ji-yoon with 11 under in tied third. Lee Ji-yoon has 1 more hole to play for. Lim Hee-jong has 1 more hole to play for, but Lee Ji-yoon still has a very good opportunity with 3 holes left. And if she can birdie all 3, she's going to put herself in the running for a contest to win. So let's find out, in these next few holes. They're so crucial, and it always pans out like this. Will we have a fight that goes down to the wire? Will there be a playoff, a tiebreaker? I don't know. But as of now, Lee Dae-yeon seems to be the golfer, still very much in control.
이동 좀 멈춰주세요. 멈춰 계세요.
That would have been another stunning finish from Lee Dae-yeon, but I think she still kept herself within the safe zone. Not trying anything too risky right now. And that's so important at this point of time. Lee Ji-yoon will go on next. Meanwhile, Kim Min-byul aiming for birdie on hole 17. And that's well struck. Very well struck by Kim Min-byul. She's at 10 under. Has got one more hole to play for. Yoo Hyun-jo looking to finish this on par. And I think she's done fairly well. Lee Ji-yoon up next. It's been a mixed bag for Lee Ji-yoon, the fact that she's gone through the motions a couple of times. Now Lee Dae-yeon looks to finish on par for hole 15 as well. That's well played by her. Here goes Ryo Seung-wi. Oh, phenomenal. Just what the doctor ordered, you would think, at the right time. 13 under, she's in second rank. And that, of course, means she's got one more hole to play for. And depending on what Lee Dae-yeon does, Ryo Seung-wi has put herself into such a strong position. Lee Ji-yoon right now with 11 under will tee off for hole number 17, and these two holes will matter a lot for her. Seemed like Lego people, that lovely drone shot. You know, we had so many good drone shots in the past few days, but we're just missing out on the actual people there. And, you know, all of them in their different color as well. Beautiful. Lee Dae-yeon with 14 under, still the leader, tees off for hole number 16. Leaving that to a one-arm follow-through. It'll be interesting to see where she's finished off. She's been very, very good in this event. I have to say it. She's been the golfer to watch for the simple reason that she's done everything right, and even if she's had, you know, she's stumbled, she's found her way back very easily, and I think it's so important for her, and she's just trying to figure out, and well, that's what I was saying, a one-arm follow-through, and she's rethinking that. Yoo Hyun Jo has got a good bit of flight on that one. She's traveled quite a distance too. Excellent spot on the fairways for her. Lee Hee-jung. She's on to her third stroke for hole 18. That's well played by her. Absolutely well played. Beautiful shot, wide angle of the entire course today. It's looking really lovely. You can see those, shades of green and those layers on the fairways, and that's thanks to, the sun not being too, too friendly and neither being shy of the course. Rainfall was predicted, but we've stayed off that, and that's such a beautiful sight to watch. Our main golfers in the fray, our top three, well grouped together with Ryo Seung-hui being the dark horse in this event. None of us would have thought she'd, come in with a slew of birdies. She's had 6 today to be precise, and she's still got one more hole to play for. It's going to be very interesting to see how she finishes this event, because a lot of golfers have peaked. Kim Na-young on day 1. Then, of course, yesterday it was definitely Lee Dae-yeon who did extremely well, and to be fair to her, Ryo Seung-hui as well, and Lee Ji-yoon. But today we're looking at Yoo Hyun Jo yesterday was one of the stars of the event, but today we're looking at an entirely different setup, and I think it's all going to boil down to who is hungrier for the win here, who is more focused, and who can actually rein it in. Because now it's bound to be a battle of nerves. There's nothing else but a battle of nerves that will ensue in the next few bits that we're going to watch.
어정쩡하게 짧은 거보다 확실히 긴 게 나아.
8번 치고 거기까지 안 갔어.
아니 나는 내가 말한 거 7번도 안 나갔잖아. 8번은 아니야. 나는 7번도 안 나갈 것 같은데.
Quick conversation there between the caddy and Lee Daeon will tell you a little bit. She's not taking any chances, and I think a caddy, of course, advising her, which would be the right choice of club, and that's very important at this point of time. Lim Hee-jong looking to finish her day's event as well. Will aim for a birdie here on hole 18. She's currently on 11 under. And that's well played by her. So Lim Hee-jong finishes with 12 under and a birdie at the end. I think she'll be happy about her performance. May have just missed the bus by a little bit, but who knows? We still are very much in this event, and we're still trying to find out, well, what could be the outcome and who will finish as queen of the course here. Lee Daeon, well, still looking to wear that crown. Going in with a 6-iron, that's a choice of club for the approach shot for hole 16. Remember, she's got to travel across the water, and she'll have to skim that as best as she can. She has hooked that to try and stay away from the hazard. I think that's the right thing to do, and has found herself onto the rough. It's a bit of a tricky spot to play from where she was, and I think hitting the water hazard is the last thing she would have wanted at this point of time. Meanwhile, here's Lee Ji-yoon, second stroke for hole 17. She's employed a 52-degree wedge for the occasion, and that's beautifully placed. Lovely approach shot from Lee Ji-yoon. If you were expecting our golfers to make a splash on a certain day, well, they are doing that today, and they're doing it in a very, very nice manner. But it's all going to boil down to who claims the top spot here. Yoo Hyun Jo up next. She's gone in with a power wedge. Finds herself right there on the carpet. Ryo Seung-hui, if you've been following her, well, she sprung a surprise today. She's on to hole 18, and this approach shot will matter because she's currently 13 under as she looks towards the clubhouse. And that's a bit interesting because she's got herself onto the rough. A birdie from there might be just a bit of a tough call for her, and she knows it. So Lee Daeon still at the top with 14 under, Ryo Seung-hui with 13 under, and she just might have botched her chances of making it to a 14 under. But having said that, with Lee Daeon still left to play with 3 more holes, anything could happen. Park Hyun-kyung, of course, finishing her day's event with that 8 under and tied 8th, and Choi Yi-bon and Kim Na-young are still in there. Kim Na-young, of course, unfortunately dropping to 8 under, but she's got 3 more holes to play for as well. So things have certainly turned around, a lot in this in this event in round 3, and it's pretty much what we were expecting. It's nothing unusual, if you ask me. So, will be interesting to see how well our golfers, really make a difference here. And we're back to lead A on. Third stroke for hole number 16. She's put herself close to the flagstick. Will have to work for an on-par finish. Remember, at all costs, she cannot afford to bogey a single hole. And I think she's very cautious and she's very well aware of that. Lee Ji-yoon, of course, onto her 17th hole. A birdie for her would work very well. And that's been really the bane of her problems through the entire event. She's probably missed out on about 8 or 9 birdies like that. Meanwhile, Kim Min-beol, sun tanning on the beach. Not really, but she needs to get out of it. She's on to hole 18 as well, with a 10 under. And I think she's done just enough to get herself back onto the carpet. Might land up bogeying that shot, but Ryo Seung-hui will be looking to finish her event as well. Meanwhile, it's Yoo Hyun Jo elsewhere on the course. She'll aim for a birdie on hole number 16. And that's well played. So Yoo Hyun Jo just coming good at the right time for herself in tied fourth with 11 under. She's still got 2 more holes to play for. So as I said, the contest is still wide open. Keep in mind the fact that Ryo Seung-hui, who's currently on, 13 under, could have finished off with 14 under, but it's going to be tough from here. So she'll have to look at aiming to finish this on par, and I think that's what she's going to try to do. Oh, she could have finished that with a birdie. What a fantastic effort from her, and she knows it. So close to nailing it, but I think she still put herself in a very strong position if she just taps this in. So 13 under from her. What a performance from Ryo Seung-hui today. Look at that progress. 70 round 1, 67 round 2, and 66 in the final round. 13 under. She has been a progressive golfer in the Heaven Masters 2025. Very, very impressive from her.
중간부터 왼쪽 끝으로 들어가게 만들고.
Kim Na-young up next, looking to finish on par for hole 16. Almost does it for her, I would have said. So it's a bogey on hole 16. She drops to a 7 under. Well, she really was flying high before, she started going down to those, first couple of stumbling blocks. And ever since then, it's been a downward slide. So Kim Na-young, kind of has, accepted that she's just going to play this round out. And I do believe she'll be back for the next tournament with the same intensity to win it. Or with better intensity. Meanwhile, here's Lee Dae-yeon. She needs to finish this on par. She needs to think through it very, very carefully. Lee Dae-yeon looking for an on-par finish for hole 16. And yes, she has. That whoop of joy will say it. I don't think anyone has been so happy to finish with an even score. But at this point of time, it matters. It really matters. And that's well played. Remember, she's playing under a bit of pressure. And the pressure is on her own shoulders. but beautifully done. She took her time, and this is what she's done through round 2 and round 3. Absolutely well planned and well executed play from her. So 2 more holes left to play for. Rosingby, of course, finishing with a 13 under. She should be proud of her performance. It's been a very, very impressive one from her. Kim Min Byul will aim for birdie on hole 18 as she looks to finish her day's event. And it looks like an on-par finish might be more up her alley for the time being. And that's what she does. So Kim Min Byul 71 on round 1, 66 in round 2, 69 in round 3. Not a bad performance at all as she finishes with a 10 under. Here's Yoo Hyun Jo as she tees off for hole number 17. Remember, she's up to 11 under. So 2 more holes to play for. Very, very interesting as the contest heats up here in the Heaven Masters. Lee Ji-yoon, second stroke for hole 18. She's nearing the end of her, well, efforts in the Heaven Masters as well. Lee Dae-yeon awaiting her turn. And that's well struck, no doubt about it.
네, 노선 좀 적어주세요.
페어웨이 버튼 미리 눌러주시고요.
네, 움직이지 말아주세요. 움직이지 말아주세요.
Well, that's a beautiful scene, isn't it? And the drone shot from behind is showing Lee Dae-yeon practicing a swing before she can launch into the main attack. Almost sounded like war, didn't it? But it isn't. Hole number 17. Started with the birdie in round 1 on this hole. On par finish yesterday. Once again, that follow through with her arm as she lets go.
괜찮을까? 쌤해야 될 것 같아. 그냥 돌았어야 했는데.
And the exodus, as I call it, there it is. The crowd, the fans, family and friends all together as they march on towards the next spot, for the golfer to take on their next challenge. And I do believe that is so required here. Stay with us, don't go anywhere as we continue with our coverage of this wonderful event, which is only kicked into high gear since we started off. Still, of course, at the top, of the leaderboard is Lee Dae-yeon. So very, very interesting, and we will find out, of course, how exactly well she performs. So
마크를 하고.
마크하고.
될게요, 이거? 아닌데. 빼내서 줘야지.
잠깐만, 65잖아. 여기까지, 요 사이?
네, 여기 소개해 주세요. 여기 한 번, 여기 한 번.
And the last thing you want, of course, is to find yourself in the rough here. I think Lee Daeon just going through the motions herself. As I've always said it, anything can happen on a given day. Lee Dong-gyun. She's on, hasn't moved too much with that 10 under, but she's on to hole number 18, her third stroke.
확실히 방향이 그 준이 형 확실히 앞쪽으로 서줘야 돼.
뒤가 높아가지고. 뒤가 높아서.
돌리면 안 돼. 어? 돌리면 안 돼.
뒤가 높아가지고. 컨택하는 게 좋아.
근데 최대한 되게 왼쪽 방향으로 봐줘야 되긴 해. 지금 그 방향도 많이 컨택만 잘 되면은 방향 괜찮은데?
그냥 받고 한번 쳐보려고요.
And Lee Daeon just needs to get well out of a trouble spot there. Well, decent enough. She's still on the rough, but closer to the green here. And that's well played by Lee Ji-yoon. Kim Na-young up next. Second stroke for hole number 17. It's Lee Dong-gyun now looking to finish with a birdie on hole number 18. Lee Dae-yeon, third stroke for hole 17. Now she's got to plan this well, because if there's one thing she's got to keep in mind, she has to finish on par if she wants to avoid a playoff. Because don't forget, Ryo Seung-wi is sitting there with a 13 under, and that's the beauty of the sport, isn't it? I mean, you call it a sport, you call it a game, you call it what you want, but at the end of the day in golf, every single hole can throw up something different at you. You can either finish with joy on that hole, you can finish by conquering your challenges, or you could just fall. So it's all left to the golfer. Well, fairly well played. I think it's going to be tough for her here. She might, well, I'm not saying anything. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm just not going to say anything or comment on that part. But I think that Lee Dae-yeon needs to really focus now at this point of time. She needs to draw it back in. But as for Lee Ji-yoon, she'll be looking to finish on a positive for hole number 18. And it will be an even score for her right at the end. I'm sure she would have liked to have finished with the birdie, but she finishes with 11 under, 67 in round 1, 67 in round 2, where she excelled. Her stumbling block, of course, was the final round, where she finished with 71. So Lee Dong-gyun. And we'll finish that on par as she ends the day's event. 34 on the front, 36 on the back, had 1 bogey and 3 birdies in there, but she'll be happy with the performance. As always, consistent. She did win the previous tournament. She's got a smile. It's always good to see her smile, because she keeps such a serious disposition otherwise. And that's a good finish from Lee Dong-gyun. She's happy about it. Lead A on. Now this is going to take a lot of concentration. Lead A on, looking to finish on par here for hole 17. Not looking to, but she has to. And I think she's going to bogey that, so that's going to drop her down to a 13 under. So she's, well, tied rank 1 now, along with Ro Seung-hui. And that's what I was saying, anything can happen. Ro Seung-hui was the big mover here today. So it's going to be interesting because, and she'll just find out as well.
걸어서 가요?
And she's just heard the news, so she's got to wait for lead A on to go through one more hole. And I think the official's just telling her to get ready just in case. Just in case. So tied first, one more hole to play for. Kim Na-young, meanwhile, will finish her efforts here. It's going to be a tough call for her. So Ro Seung-hui warming up there. So what are the options? Very quickly, let's look at it. Yoo Hyun Jo, of course, gets ready for her effort next. Let's say lead A on hole number 18 finishes with a birdie. That's the win for her. And that's a lot of pressure on her shoulders. Let's say that she finishes on par. It's going to be a playoff between her and Ro Seung-hui. Let's just say that she drops a point. Ro Seung-hui wins the tournament. She finishes, well, tied with the others who are in that position. So I think it's a very, very important hole now. Hole number 18, and lead A on is a golfer to watch. Yoo Hyun Jo missing out on a birdie as well. Grossing Wee getting back into rhythm.
많이 타지. 약간 태영이 우측 보고 들어오게.
Kim Na-young will tee off for hole number 18.
카메라 방향까지 안 나가니까 거기 못 쳐도 될것 같아.
왜?
응.
오빠요?
응, 오빠랑 써.
And that's beautifully done by Yoo Hyun Jo. Lee Daeon tees off for what could be her most crucial hole of the year. She's played that well. She's had an on-par finish and a birdie on this hole. Wind conditions have got a lot stronger. I think there's a spot of rain as well. This is very interesting as Yo Seung Gui gets ready to go launch in.
뒤로 더 가까이. 170, 1짜리거든. 170.
This is as crucial as it gets at this point of time, and I think I'm sure that Lee Dae-yeon has definitely got a plan in mind, but she's definitely also just trying to keep her calm at this point of time, because one thing she has to do is she will have to try and find some sort of a plan. She'll have to try and come up with some sort of an idea of what she can do.
잠시만요. 플레이하겠습니다.
So all eyes here on Lee Dae-yeon now as she gets into the most crucial part of her event here.
앞뒤 살짝씩 계속 돌아. 괜찮아.
Second stroke on hole 18. And this one will really matter. Does get a good bit of a lift on that. She's trying to keep, and I think I really like that. She stayed calm about it. She's not really, disappointed about the fact that she might be heading into a playoff, or that she really needs to salvage things here. And I think that that's a good thing about her. Yoo Hyun Jo onto her second stroke as well. She's at 10 under.
나이스 온!
couple of fans there, of course, clicking out photographs too. Ryo Seung-hui awaiting her turn.
왜 저를 자꾸 찍으세요? Kim Na-young onto a third stroke for hole number 18. Well, she would have had the greatest bit of disappointment, but I do believe it was, well, meant to be. It happens on certain days, and here she's just about flown the green a tad bit to land herself onto the rough. I don't think it's going to, well, deter her current performance, but I think she'll still, take, well, heart from the fact that she did, well, her best in the event.
더까지 괜찮아. 더 안쪽으로.
더 이쪽도?
아니 저기 더 해븐 있잖아. 더 그 안쪽으로.
그러니까 오른쪽.
맞아.
And I think she's done well to get herself, into a safe position here. So lead A on. Now it's all left to her to do to finish it off in style. She needed to plan this well, and I think that's a very, very good approach shot. Playing under pressure to get that, she's put herself into a very strong position for a win here. And this could be the turning point of, the event once again.
점으로 소속의 김나영 선수입니다. 마지막으로 통산 8승, 메이저 3승의 메이저 퀸 레딜 소속의 이다현 선수입니다.
So here goes Yoo Hyun Jo, aiming for eagle. And that's for hole 18. Kim Na-young up next with an eagle out of the way for Yoo Hyun Jo. Kim Na-young is on to an effort for a birdie here. Kim Na-young will have to also look at finishing it off with an on par here. And Yoo Seung-hui will await her destiny. Whether she, and that's the official next to her. She will have to wait and see if she's going to go take the buggy to the spot and get ready for a playoff, or will Lee Dae-yeon will finish it. It's a very, very interesting event here now. Yoo Hyun Jo, who was typically one of the stars of yesterday, that struck well by Yoo Hyun Jo. Kim Na-young. Well, I think she'll be happy to finish, on par after it's been such a challenging time for her. And that would really set her into, well, at least good spirit for the next event. And that's what she's done. Could have won the tournament. She was on par to do that. Or did I say on par? She was on course to do that. Well, that's another pun. It just happens, doesn't it? So Kim Na-young will be glad to have finished on par. Now all eyes on Lee Dae-yeon as she gauges the slope, the distance. Oh, this is so very well challenging to watch as well. And Lim Hee-jung. next to Roh Seung-hui as they await.
희정이 상 줘야 되겠다.
Remember, Lim Hee-jong finished with 12 under, and she's in third position. With Lee Dae-yeon and Roh Seung-hui tied in first currently. And she's just, I think, blown the victory there, which means this is going to go into a playoff. So Roh Seung-hui will be aboard that buggy as Lee Dae-yeon and Roh Seung-hui will move on, well, for the decider. And well, keep in mind the fact that last year it was Bae So-yoon, Seo Yoo-jin, and well, Hwang Yoo-min. And Hwang Yoo-min dropped out in the first playoff, and then in the second one, it was Seo Yoo-jin who tied with well, Bae So-yoon, and then finally Bae So-yoon won it in the third. So I think a worthy finish. This was such a tight contest, and I really think it's a worthy finish. So it is good to see, and well, all the golfers waiting there. That expression should be worth $1 million, worth at least a few million Korean won. And that ball just painfully went past the hole. So interesting here. Lee Dae-yeon and Roh Seung-hui into a playoff at the end.
어차피 못 돌릴 거야. 카메라.
막골 나이스 파. 편하게 앉으세요.
자.
So well, all this time, Roh Seung-hui had nothing to lose when she started off the day's event, and then of course as it progressed it became intense. But very quickly, let's look at a couple of the highlights and run you through exactly what happened right here on the first hole. Well, as we can see, there was definitely a bit of movement there from, you know, Roh Seung-hui, and then Lee Dae-yeon as well. Remember, she started off her day's event with the bogey, and that was a bit of a duff shot from her. Wasn't really expecting it to roll back. But then on the fourth hole, Roh Seung-hui came good once again. And that was a fantastic performance from her. And then again on the eighth hole, so it's turning out to be quite an event for her as she climbed up to the third position. And then there we saw Lee Dae-yeon. It was on the 11th hole that she, you know, earned that birdie to get herself back into 13 under. Meanwhile, Roh Seung-hui was still laboring on. She already had 4 birdies in here, and that would have been a 5th. And that took her to a clean, well, second rank at the 15th hole. And then on hole number 14, that was a good finish from, well, Lee Dae-yeon as she went up to, you know, 14 under. number 17, and that's where I think really Roh Seung-hui cemented a position for the playoff with a birdie. She could have, actually tied with Lee Daeon, and after Lee Daeon faltered, she might have won the event. But on hole 18, it was going to be difficult for her, and she landed up with an on-par finish. She really was at the peak of her powers here today, and she knows it. 6 birdies for the count. And that was Lee Daeon, where she just salvaged, her position on the hole 16, where she got an on-par finish. But it's hole 17 that was really her undoing.
괜찮을까? 땡해야 될 것 같아.
And that's what transpired there for Lee Daeon. And then on the 18th hole, she needed to finish with a birdie to win the competition, because she was tied here 13 under with Roh Seung-hui. And that's when that ball decided to misbehave. And that's given us a playoff. So here we are into the tiebreaker, into the playoff. Call it what you want, but according to me, this is the decider. The Celtrion Masters, we had a very similar, event. And the rain started coming down. You can see that the sheets of water, and with the wind, of course, it's blowing across. Temperature earlier was, at about 22, 23 degrees Celsius. There was predicted sunny skies, but trying to figure out whether it was the sprinklers, but it's definitely a spot of rain, because we've got, the ladies have their, windbreakers and jackets on. And mind you, temperatures dipped to about 18 or 19 degrees Celsius. Wind speeds have gone up to 4.7 miles. So keep that in mind. I think it could just be a little bit of fogginess, not rain, because from where I'm sitting, I did see a spray of water, but it could be more a fog than anything else. And I think as long as it doesn't mar vision, it's all good. So Roh Seung-hui will tee off at hole number 18. Roh Seung-hui. Let's tee it off here. Let's find out how she's done. She's got herself onto the fairways nice and clean. Lee Daeon up next, and this time no single arm follow through. She's kept the form, she's kept it very tight. Let's figure out how far she's traveled. Just exerting the right amount of power. So here we go. The buggies will take our ladies forward, and that's so needed here. I can't expect them to be walking around. Well, I'd say this is fairly well played so far.
별 방향은 요 우측. 딱 여기 서면
But let's find out what happens next.
거기 왼쪽에
Because
나무 있지. 그 모서리.
keep in mind the fact that always the last hole when you're close to the clubhouse tends to be a bit different from the rest. And as we can see, it's just off the fairways for Lee Dae-yeon. She's on the rough. Having said that, does it change the way the ball travels? Of course it does, especially with the way that you craft your approach shot. And it just needs that much more attention than anything else.
그 정도 보면은 그렇게 하면 딱 좋아.
Still practicing. Well, her swing there, because she knows she needs to travel a bit on this. At the same time, she can't get too much of club on it. Well, I think she's got onto the fairways, and that's a good thing for her. Or just off it, still on the rough, but on the shoulder, so it's not going to matter too much, but not in a troubled position. Now here goes Ryo Seung-wi. It's a second stroke. Remember, it's a par 5, hole 18, and the clubhouse hole, as we call it, is always the one that, well, has so many twists and turns, and the ending, you can rewrite the ending the way you want. Ryo Seung-wi, well, still stays on the fairways. It's kept it fairly simple, fairly straight. This time it'll be a quick trudge down because they didn't tee off. It's just natural to take a short walk. Got to thank our cameraman for the super slow-mo. And that just shows you her form. She's put a full body into that, as you can see. Very strong follow-through from Lee Dae-yeon, and we weren't looking at that with the tee shots, and that's copybook golf. And it's a funny thing about any sport, right? You can take as many risks as you want. You can come up with flamboyant stroke play, or you can, whether it's golf or whether it's tennis or lawn tennis, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, you can improvise and do what you want. But when you're really stuck for answers, I think even for the most amateur golfer, you just got to go back to copybook play. And that's always going to keep you in the safe zone. It might not win you too many accolades, but it will still get you close to that. So let's find out, how our golfers now get to the approach shot. This is so important because we're down to the third stroke on hole 18. The playoff is still very much on here. and very eager on performing her best is definitely Lee Dae-yeon. Once again, needs to get out of the rough here, Lee Dae-yeon. A lot of focus on here as they get into this last bit, and I think Lee Dae-yeon's approach shot might have just landed her into a spot of trouble, similar spot where she was. It looks like she's got onto the cat box here, and I think for the first time she's just paused to rethink that. So this might just be once again a turning point for her. Now let's find out what Roh Seung-hui does with her effort. Because if Roh Seung-hui even finishes on par, but if Lee Dae-yeon bogeys it, it will be Roh Seung-hui to take the win. So let's find out. Her approach shot. And she's got herself onto the green. She's put herself in a very strong position now to win it. And keep in mind the fact that, well, one of the things I think that's happened here on hole 18 in this playoff is Lee Dae-yeon hit the rough twice, while Roh Seung-hui managed to keep it well on the fairways right through. She's crafted her pathway quite straight, and this could just be, well, disastrous for Lee Dae-yeon. That ball just bouncing back, and it certainly looks like she's got onto the beach here. But I'm not going to call it, and no one can. It's only the golfers who know what's going to transpire. But as of now, it certainly looks like it's advantage for Roh Seung-hui. Lee Dae-yeon needs to get out of a trouble spot here. I think she needs to keep her thinking cap on very tight. Oh, beautifully done. Beautifully done to get herself out of a spot of trouble. But having said that, a birdie might just be, well, out of the question here. But don't say that I said that, because I could be proven wrong. Well, this is masterclass from her. I think needed to get herself out of a spot of trouble. And I do believe she did not hit the beach, but just needed to get herself off the rough and onto the green. So 3 times on the rough in this hole. And Ryo Seung-hui will have to now rethink her strategy too. And she was just gauging, well, the distance, the line that the ball's going to travel in. And that's a birdie from Ryo Seung-hui. And she would have just capped off the win in the tournament. Oh, what a massive moment for her. What a massive moment from her. Lee Dae-yeon still has to finish. Well, the dark horse of the tournament has just come across the finish line. She wasn't on the radar on day 1, but on day 2 and then day 3, and she knows it herself, it's so unexpected. So that's pretty much it for her. All she needed was a birdie, and at the right time. So that's her 7th birdie for the day and the winning one for her. So Ryo Seung-hui, the unexpected winner, and what an event. You can't help but feel bad for Lee Dae-yeon. She led through yesterday, she led through today, but it is really, this young lady who shone so bright today. She was the star of the day with 6 birdies in the bag, and that finish was just masterclass. Absolutely masterclass. What a win here for Ryo Seung-hui. And I think Lee Dae-yeon, well, that expression from her just said it. She knew immediately when that ball traveled, it was going to find its way through. Beautifully done. And I think she played without any pressure right through, even down to the tiebreaker, even to the decider at the playoff. And that says it all. That is absolute masterclass. So her first win of the year. She won 2 last year. And if I'm not mistaken, this is probably her 3rd win of the KLPGA. I can't help but feel very happy for her. This is exactly what the doctor ordered, and well done. Absolutely well done by Ryo Seung-hui. Just looking back, at last year's events, and just to keep you in the loop, she won her first event.
나머지 시상식은 리조트에 있는 갤러리 프라자에서 글래스 하우스에서 진행된 예정입니다. 오신 분 100분에 한해서 선패치를 무료 증정하고자 합니다. 참고 부탁드리겠습니다.
So she won her first event on the 16th of June at the DB Group Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. She was the defending champion, but of course it was, Lee Dong-gyun who won that last week. And there we go, Ryo Seung-hui, tied at the top with Lee Dae-yeon, but wins it in a playoff. 6 birdies in there, plus that winning birdie could make it 7. Fantastic score of 66 in the last round. Lee Dae-yeon, of course, finishing with 72. A bit unfortunate for her because she had an even score today with the bogeys, to nullify her birdies. Lim Hee-jung, of course, finishes as second runner-up with 12 under. And she too putting on such a show. Lee Ji-yoon and Kim Na-young, well, just dropping, out. But Lee Ji-yoon finishing in tied 4th with Yoo Hyun-jo with 11 under. Kim Min-byul did very well. She finished with tied 6th with Lee Dong-gyun again. Another consistent performer with 10 under. So Ryo Seung-hui won her first KLPGA event last year with the DB Group Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. And then here we go again. Soon after that, she backed it up when on the 15th of September, she won the OK Savings Bank OK Man Ladies Open. But don't forget the DB Group Korea Women's Open Golf Championship is a 1.2 billion Korean won event. And then finally, this year, her 3rd win of the KLPGA. Let me also run you through very quickly what our prize money is. Our main prize money for this event is 1 billion Korean won. That's 724,312.60 USD. The first winner, that's Ro Seung-wi, will take home 1.8 million Korean won. That's 130,418 USD. Our runner-up will take home, which is of course Lee Dae-on, 110 million Korean won, which is 79,696 USD. And Lim Hee-jung, who finishes second runner-up or third place, will take home 80 million Korean won or 57,960 USD. This is the second consecutive year that the Heaven Masters has returned rightfully to the rightly named place, which was once called the Island. It was once called the Island Resort Country Club, was renamed to the Heaven Resort, and 2024 and 2025, the Heaven Masters has been played here. Both years, last year we had a three-way playoff, this year a two-way playoff. What a fantastic event, and I do hope that you've enjoyed our coverage of it. We were coming at you live from Gyeonggi-do. Don't forget, we still have the prize presentation coming up, so do stay with us as we take you through it. And while I talk about the prize presentation, also very quickly, let me remind you that we've got a couple more events still lined up for you. And as we get ahead, well, keep in mind one thing, that Lee Won is still that hat-trick winner. She's won 3 events this year, but now Ro Seung-wi has put her name. The rest of all the other golfers have just won 1 event each, including golfers like Park Hyun-kyung, Jung Yoon-ji, Lee Ga-young, Lee Dong-yoon, Hong Jun-min, Kim Min-sun, Bang Shin-sil, Kim Min-ju, and Park Bo-kyom. It's only Lee Won that has won 3, and now, of course, Ro Seung-wi has written her name on the KLPGA 2025 winners list as well. So coming up next, it will be the MC Call, the McCall Mona Yongpyong Open, and that'll be played on the 29th of June. That'll be followed by the Lotte Open on the 6th of July. Of course, I'll be there with you for one of those events. And then the High Resort Ladies Open follows on the 13th of July before the Aurora World Championship kicks in on the 27th of July. And then on the 10th of August, it is the Jeju Samdasu Masters. Stay with us as we await the prize presentation. Ro Seung-wi starting off really well with that first hole, and that's how it all was started today. And then on the second hole, aiming for birdie here. Very interesting finish. That was Lee Ji-yoon, of course, providing us, with the joy. Then on the fourth hole, once again, Ro Seung-wi needed a birdie, and she nailed that extremely well to get into a tied second. It was her third birdie of that front nine and off the day. Yoo Hyun-jo, meanwhile, who was, in tied, second with 10 under, and she was expected to perform a lot better. Had a beautiful approach shot there. and she got herself into a very strong position. By the time she hit the 4th hole, she was placed second with 11 under and one of the favorites to win this event. And then on the 7th hole, Lim Hee Jong started plying her own trade, and she too, had already had 3 birdies in there in that front 9. And on the 5th hole, Yoo Hyun Jo once again nailed it with a birdie, a semi-victory lap, and consecutive birdies on 4th and 5th moved her to the top, where she was tied with Lee Dae-yeon with 12 under. And all this was happening while Roh Seung-hui was working behind the scenes. And that pretty much showed us that Yoo Hyun Jo, who delighted us yesterday, today was on the upward swing. A hat-trick of birdies. She was at 13 under. Then Roh Seung-hui, who had dropped who had moved up to 5th, moved up to, tied 3rd with 11 under by the time that the others were still, crafting their shots. But on hole number 9, Lim Hee Jong, another unsung, not hero, an unsung heroine of today. She also had a fantastic setup and a lovely, finish there. We all ignored what she was doing, but she was certainly doing extremely well. Then on the 11th hole, strong movement again from Lim Hee Jong, and she pretty much had moved up to a tied 3rd with 11 under. Meanwhile, Yoo Hyun Jo, who was at the top position now, and that's where pretty much things began to fall apart for her. She missed out on a birdie there, which was of course tough to achieve. Having said that, but on the 14th hole, Lim Hee Jong, who was in 4th position, moved up into, tied 2nd with 11 under. She had 2 bogeys in the day, but by this time she already had about 6 birdies. And Lee Dae-yeon certifying her position as the number 1 there on the leaderboard by the 11th hole with 13 under. Redeemed herself of that bogey that she started the day with. Meanwhile, Roh Seung-hui on hole number 15 had to finish with a birdie to move into 2nd position, and that's what she did, climbing to a 12 under. It was all playing out so well on the 14th hole. Needed a birdie to confirm a position and stay there at number 1, and that birdie was absolutely fantastic from Lee Dae-yeon as she climbed up to 14 under, and she was 2 points ahead of the chasing pack. And then Lim Hee Jong, meanwhile, on hole number 17, needed a birdie. She was on 10 under at this point of time. And she achieved that extremely well. Meanwhile, hole number 17, Roh Seung-hui needed this to certify herself as the 2nd best golfer on the leaderboard, and she did, as she moved up to 13 under, while Lim Hee Jong finished her tournament with a birdie, and consecutive birdies on 17 and 18 saw her in 3rd position with 12 under. And this is where Roh Seung-hui failed to nail a birdie, but she finished on par on hole 18 to keep her 13 underscore very much intact. And I think this was pretty much the turning point of the event for us, because on hole number 17, Lee Dae-yeon, who well, bound to win the tournament if she had just hung on to that score. And she knew that a tee off pretty much had gone a bit off from the very beginning. That follow through wasn't as strong as when she went through the tee off in the playoff, and this put her into a very, very tough position, I do believe. And she was looking for a fine finish here, but that ball was a Cuban for her, and that's where she bogeyed the 17th hole and dropped to 13 under to now tie with Ryo Seung-hui at number 1. And that just allowed Ryo Seung-hui to get back into the action. She needed to finish this last hole, of course, with a birdie, but I'm sorry, she bogeyed the 17th, but finished on par on the 18th, and that was really her undoing. And this is right at the playoff where she landed herself just out of the beach onto the rough, and now all she needed was to finish on par because she'd missed out on the chance of a birdie. If Ryo Seung-hui birdied this one, she would win it, and this was a fantastic finish. I can't say enough about it. Such a beautifully crafted shot. The rightful winner for today. So those were the highlights of the day, and Ryo Seung-hui really delighting us, the unexpected winner, and well, I'm so glad for the contest itself, because that's what you want to see. You don't want a predictable winner, because at the end of the day, you want to see, well, a difference. You want to see a change. You want to see something that's, fresh. Right here at the clubhouse with that beautiful pool overlooking everything. Here is the prize presentation. We were expecting a few words from Ryo Seung-hui as well. Stay with us as we continue with our golfers being honored here. And there's a pool there as well, lovely background.
정말 윤석영 선수 오늘 홀인원 부상으로 벤츠 E200 아방가르드 차량을 받게 됩니다. 여러분 다시 한번 축하의 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다. KLPGA 통산 3번째 홀인원을 벌써 기록했는데요. 행운의 기록을 가득 담아서 다음 대회에서 멋진 기량을 뽐낼 수 있도록 여러분 다시 한번 아낌없는 응원의 박수를 보내주시기 바랍니다.
And the hole in one there.
네,
The winner, well done.
다시 한번 홀인원 진심으로 축하드립니다. 자, 그리고 강준기 사모님 자리로 모시도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. 자, 다음은 대회 5번 홀 홀인원 상품 우리 하루팀에서 제공하는 현금 1억 원이 있었는데요. 현금 1억 원 중 홀인원 기록자에게 현금 5천만 원 전달과 나머지 5천만 원은 선수 이름으로 덜분 재단에 기부하는 그런 상품이었습니다. 하지만 2홀에서 홀인원이 발생하지 않았는데요. 그래서 현금 1억 원 모두를 우리 하루팀 이름으로 덜분 재단에 기부하기로 했습니다. 여러분 박수를 한번 보내주시기 바랍니다. 네, 기부사인 우리 그룹 하루팀 윤지용 사장님께서 대표로 전달을 해주신다고 합니다. 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 윤지용 사장님께서 더해군 문화재단 김민정 이사님께 직접 전달을 해주시겠습니다. 김민정 이사님도 여러분 박수로 맞이해 주시기 바랍니다.
So prize presentation continues here.
현금 1억 원 모두를 우리 하루팀 이름으로 더해군 재단에 기부해 주셨습니다. 네, 정말 의미 있는 일에 함께해 주신 우리 하루팀에게도 아낌없는 박수를 보내주시기 바랍니다. 네, 감사합니다. 윤지용 사장님께서는 다시 자리로 돌아가 주시고요. 자, 김민정 이사님께는
Ryo Seung-hui just awaiting the prize presentation.
전달해주시기 부탁드립니다. 다음 기부금 전달 이어가 보도록 하겠습니다. 하루팀에 이어서 대회 8번호 홀인원 상품은 현금 2억 원이었는데요. 홀인원이 발생하지 않아서 본 에스티스 이름으로 덜분 재단에 이번에도 기부하기로 했습니다. 여러분 다시 한번 의미 있는 일에 따뜻한 박수를 보내주시기 바랍니다. 네, 기부사인 본 에스티스 한소수 회장님께서 대표로 오늘 전달을 해주시기 위해 무대로 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 문화재단, 더해군 문화재단 김민정 이사님께 직접 전달을 해주시겠고요. 자, 기부사인 본 에스티스 한도수 회장님께서 이제 더해군 문화재단 김민정 이사님께 전달하도록 하겠습니다. 여러분 다시 한번 의미 있는
That's 100 million Korean won in gold from the Heaven Cultural Foundation.
김민정 이사님께 여러분 박수를 보내주시기 바랍니다. 두 분은 자리로 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 이제 다음은 아마추어 1위 시상입니다. 발표하겠습니다. 더헤븐 마스터즈 영예의 아마추어 1위는 3라운드 토탈 211타를 기록한 박서준 선수입니다. 축하드립니다. 네, 앞쪽으로 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 한국여자 프로골프 투어 강춘자 고모님께서 앞쪽으로 나오셔서 직접 트로피 전달을 해주시겠습니다. 네, 아마추어 2위에 있는 박서진 선수 진심으로 축하드립니다. 우리 영광의 멋진 트로피를 안겨주셨는데요. 사진 촬영 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 다음으로는
Remember, we will always have a rookie of the tournament. There'll always be the hole-in-one. There'll always be, of course, well, the player of the tournament too. It could be the player of that day. It depends on each event.
네, 세 분과 함께 사진 촬영 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 오늘 더헤븐 마스터즈 영예 아마추어 1위에 빛나는 박서진 선수 앞으로의 멋진 모습도 계속해서 응원하도록 하겠습니다. 두 분께서는 다시 자리를 해주시길 부탁드립니다. 자, 이제 마지막으로 대망의 더헤븐 마스터즈 우승자 발표를 하겠습니다. 수상자에게는 부상으로 우승 자켓과 우승 트로피 그리고 상금 1억 8천만 원이 수여됩니다. 발표하겠습니다. 오늘 연장 접전 끝에 더헤븐 마스터즈 영예 우승자는 3라운드 토탈 203타 14라운드 파를 기록한 노승희 선수입니다. 축하드립니다.
And here we go, Roh Seung-hui will do the winner's walk here. As she moves up to take, well, the honor, she'll get the winner's jacket as well, and that's the most important. After she's been doused with all that water, I think she definitely requires a bit of warmth, and it has been a cold day. She's been very sporting. I always said this, just like Hwang Yumin, she's got that girl next door kind of disposition. She is always a happy camper, takes things, in a stride, doesn't really show too much of disappointment when things go south. And even if she does, it's in the typical girl-like manner. And that's the winner's trophy.
이제 다음으로는 한국여자 프로골프협회 김순희 수석 부회장님께서 꽃다발을 전달해 주시겠습니다. 앞쪽으로 모시고 꽃다발을 바로 안겨드리도록 하겠습니다. 네, 노승희 선수 진심으로 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
It's a big moment here for her, the champion, the queen of the Heaven Masters 2025, and the queen of the Heaven Country Club, the Heaven Resort course. What an event this has been. Absolutely wonderful. And a win to cherish. And that's the 80 million Korean won actually, not 18.
자, 이체는 사진 촬영이 모두 끝난 뒤에 바로 진행이 됩니다. 네, 사진 촬영이 모두 마무리가 된 것 같은데요. 저희 바로 이 자리에서 하나은행을 통해 주식회사 더헤븐 리조트에서 바로 하나 원큐 상금 이체를 한번 해보도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 우승 상금이 1억 8천만 원인데요.
An appreciation there for Roh Seung-hui
전달드리고 승인을 해보도록 하겠습니다.
from the man behind the Heaven Resort.
지금 1초 만에 로그인해서 쉽고 빠르게 이체 가능한 하나 원큐를 통해 해볼 텐데요. 회장님 준비되셨나요? 자, 그럼 이체 버튼을 눌러주세요. 와! 네, 1차 만에 지금 우승 상금 1억 8천만 원이 하나은행을 통해
Just wondering whether he was making a bank transfer. I think that's what it was. You can, of course, nowadays, can't you? But here it is, absolutely phenomenal. Such a beautiful win from Ro Seung-hui. She's given us something to be delighted with. As I said, I called her the dark horse, but she's really, a pretty fair maiden. But I was just referring to it colloquially, and the fact that, well, she was pretty much behind. In round 1, and then round 2 she silently did a good bit of work, but in round 3 she just came out all guns blazing, played under pressure with absolutely no pressure at all. She still played a free-flowing style in that playoff, and I think that's where it really stood a good. There was a bit of pressure on Lee Dae-yeon, and that's how she pretty much saw the trophy slipping through her fingers. Here we have it, the final victory shot, and Ro Seung-hui, queen of the course here and of the Heaven Masters 2025. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed our coverage of this event, and don't forget that the KLPGA continues. There's a lot more coming up in the year for you. I ran you through a few of the tournaments, but well, for now, from me, Glenn Mascarenas, it's going to be time for me to shut shop and ship out of here. And on behalf of the entire production crew and of John Kim, who's not only responsible for me being here, but also for bringing this event to your screens. Well, it's pretty much that time when I have to say, I will take your leave, and I'll see you again in another KLPGA event really soon. Till then, you stay well, stay safe, take care of your family, and don't forget to always stay glued to golf and to the KLPGA. So from me, Glenn Mascarenas, and all of us here, in this event, it's time to say bye-bye for now.
전달을 해주실 두 분께서도 사진 촬영을 함께 해주셨습니다. 네, 감사합니다. 우리 내빈분들께서는 잠시 옆쪽으로 자리를 모셔보도록 하겠습니다. 더 헤븐 마스터즈만의 우승 퍼포먼스가 잠시 뒤 진행될 예정인데요. 여러분, 이곳은 더 헤븐 리조트의 시그니처라고 할 수 있는 헤븐 인피니티풀입니다. 우승의 기쁨을 담아서 이제 노승희 선수가 선풍으로 빠져들 텐데요. 자, 노승희 선수 그리고 선수와 캐디분, 가족분들 모두 이제 신호에 맞춰서 뛰어드실 준비를 해주시기 바랍니다. 우리 사진 기자님께서는 잠시 이동을 부탁드리겠습니다. 저희가 위치를 잡고 노승희 선수가 지금 캐디, 네, 우리 캐디님 함께 와주셨고요. 혹시 주머니 속에 핸드폰이 없는지 확인해 주시고요. 핸드폰이 빠지면 안 됩니다. 그리고 가족분들도 오늘 함께 함께 떼어주실 준비를 하고 계시는데요. 노승희 선수 준비되셨나요? 네! 아, 목소리가 아직 준비가 안 된 것 같은데 노승희 선수 힘차게 뛸 준비가 되셨나요? 네! 아, 좋습니다. 우리 기자님도 좀 준비가 되셨나요? 네, 기자님들도 준비가 되신 것 같고요. 자, 그럼 우리 더 헤븐 리조트의 시그니처라고 할 수 있는 헤븐 인피니티 풀에 여러분 하나 둘 셋 함께 외쳐주시기 바랍니다. 하나 둘 셋.
Well, I had to come back for that because that's a dip in the pool. And that's an exciting one. Well, her manager, Ro Seung-hui, of course, and her caddy, all three of them had to take a dip in the pool. But what a worthy dip it is. Well, thank you so much once again for joining us and sharing the action with us. I'm sorry I had to come back for that. It was just too exciting to miss. My name is Glenn Mascarenas, and on behalf of the entire production crew, and of course, I'm just trying to figure out, well, that's probably her dad actually. But on behalf of all of us here, it's time for me to shut shop and ship out of here and say bye for now. Catch you again with another KLPGA event real soon. Take care.
정말 노승희 선수가 마지막 버디 컷을 시킬 때처럼 멋지게 진행해줬는데요. 다시 한번 진심으로 축하드립니다. 네.